sorry, what were you saying?
I guess I was mostly just kind of experiencing language as a repository of, um, I guess, pointings, maybe. I guess, a repository of pointings where what is pointed to isn't actually part of what we ever know, but the pointings tell us that there is something being pointed to.
But is the knowledge like, wouldn't the knowledge be more language?
Wouldn't the knowledge be more? No,
Like,
I don't think so.
like you wouldn't think like, well, maybe like you can describe an elm leaf as having like, jagged edges or something like that.
Right.
Um, is that not knowledge, or is
I
it?
think like you could I would sort of want to say that the knowledge wouldn't ever be more language. The knowledge would always be what the language points to, which is something you can only see.
Hmm. So you were
In
experiencing
in this
knowledge
in this
as something that you like could see.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hmm.
And that language is kind of a repository for things that you could see. If
For
you
pointing at things you could see, or
Yeah, that you can see.
huh. I think that definitely fits like the taxonomic kind of knowledge. I wonder if it fits every kind of knowledge.
Maybe not. Maybe it just is how I was thinking about the kind of knowledge that is in language.
Hmm. As opposed to other kinds of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess it's actually kind of saying that the sort of knowledge that is in language is actually a different kind of knowledge. Like we think of it as being in language, but it's really what language is it's a technique of pointing to a different kind of knowledge.
Hmm. Yeah, I like that. But it's a technique. It's a kind of like it's kind of archaeological though. Like you dig with your words,
Hmm.
and then you like say tada and name it something. Um, like 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 a dialogue to like try and understand something
Mm.
is it's like the technique of coming to be able to be able to know something, isn't it?
Right. I mean, and that's kind of maybe the way that language works on itself is it does point to itself, but in pointing it to itself, it enables itself to point at something that's not in itself.
Or it's just like always whenever it points to itself, it's also trying to point beyond itself.
Right. Yes, I think that's right. Like I don't think it ever says anything by simply pointing at itself.
It's never sorry, it's never hermetic or self-reflexive purely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems right. I'm pretty sure it's been played out in our conversation.
So that's what Plato says?
No, it's been played out in our
Oh.
conversation,
Mm.
like what we were just saying.
Huh. Yeah.
I mean, it was just kind of
Right. No,
almost.
yes. I often have that. That's kind of like that is, I feel like the thing that has been revelatory to me is the way that this pointing is always going on. And it's kind of hard to see. Like it's actually invisible because what's visible are the words.
Right, where it's silent and yeah, yeah. It, but you can feel it. Like you can experience it once you start noticing it.
Totally. It's kind of phenomenological, I guess.
Yeah, it gives you like naming it gives you naming the pointing at the pointing allows you to take like a little bit of a stance back, which
Yeah.
lets you feel it.